A messy and a mysterious moment for Democrats today about Ukraine. The chairwoman of the Progressive Caucus sent a letter to the White House yesterday urging President Biden to negotiate an end to the war. Then, after a backlash, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal issued a clarification. This was in the clarification. Let me be clear. We are united as Democrats. We support President Biden. The earlier letter, though, urged the president to pursue, quote, vigorous diplomacy, including, quote, direct talks with Russia. Here's the mystery. Other progressives say this letter was drafted several months ago, then set aside. It has been hard to get a direct answer as to why it was sent now. Our chief congressional correspondent, Manu Raju, joins our conversation. Do we know why? And a lot of Democrats are saying, what the hell happened here?
Yeah, look, we've been asking this question all morning. The Jayapal's office has declined to comment about why this was sent out this week, just a couple of weeks before the midterm elections, when the party is trying to show a united front on a number of issues, not to open up new divisions. It's the Republicans right now who are sparring about whether to provide more aid to Ukraine. The Democrats are happy to have the Republicans have that debate. But this letter opened up a new front that a lot of Democrats simply did not want to discuss. They did sign on to this letter, about 30 of them, back in July, calling for a bigger push towards diplomacy. But a number of them that I talked to today, and some have said that publicly as well, saying they would not sign on to the letter now, given where the war is with Ukraine at this moment. So the fact that Jayapal sent this out 2 weeks before the midterm elections, blindsiding her members, has caused a lot of backlash. And as one veteran Democrat told me this morning, one House Democrat said, quote, people are furious.
You say people are furious. Let's just go through some of the sampling here. Mark Pocan of Wisconsin, a progressive, a key progressive. This was written in July. I have no idea why it went out now. Jake Auchincloss of Massachusetts, an olive branch to a war criminal. Senator Chris Murphy, peril in sitting down with Putin way too early. Number one, to Manu's point, it is a policy divergence debate among Democrats at a key moment in the war. Number two, a cynical person might suggest this is the beginning of the post-election competitions for leadership.
I think that's right, and that is going to be messy. I think Nancy Pelosi was asked a couple of days ago whether or not she's going to be a speaker, or is she going to be in her leadership role, maybe speaker, maybe some other role, and she basically refused to answer that question. But yes, the younger members are chomping at the bit, the more progressive members chomping at the bit for a leadership turnover from the folks who've been in those leadership roles for many, many years. And so this, in some ways, could be an indication of that. It's also an indication, possibly, of the tough sledding that Biden could have going forward with Ukraine and some of the aid. We obviously have seen what Kevin McCarthy said, saying that there's not going to be a blank check for Ukraine, particularly if Americans are mired in a recession. And so now you have these Democrats also suggesting some skepticism.
And to that point, McCarthy says no blank check because there are fiscal pressures here at home, including inflation. The Democrats, again, they're not taking the Tucker caucus position that says, give Ukraine to Putin.
Right.
That's what the Tucker wing of the Republican Party thinks. Who cares? Give it to Putin. But they do echo something McCarthy said in this letter. This conflict has also contributed to elevated gas and food prices at home, fueling inflation and high oil prices for Americans in recent months. The president of the United States' position is, yes, that may well be true, but it is worth it. This is a global crisis.
Right. It's worth it for democracy at this point. How often do you hear, but this is Biden's words, how often do you hear him say this is part of this global battle between democracy and autocracy? Even just last week, you saw the line of attack from the White House from Democrats very much pointing to those comments from Kevin McCarthy as well, saying we're not going to give Ukraine a blank check, citing that as well and criticizing it. The concern is that this letter could then undermine that sort of line of criticism coming from the White House against Republicans.
I just think if you're sitting at home watching this conversation or reading about this and you're thinking, well, why does any of this matter? How does any of this impact me? Is that this is another example of how the bases are disproportionately empowered in both parties because a clear majority in the House and Senate, if you were just took party out of it, thinks that this is the right thing to do, even if it means higher gas prices, even if it means some economic pain, even if it swings majority control, because it's the U.S. versus Russia all over again. It's NATO and the post-World War II coalition versus autocracy, right? But everybody's so afraid of their shadow and of their bases that they can't figure out, like, can they just do this in the lame duck session?
Yeah, and-
Because if they could, there'd be a plan already.
And
that's-
that's what makes it so interesting in the sense that we should encourage policy debates. We should encourage everybody to speak up, especially people who are elected to power, to speak up. The question here is, why now?
Yeah, that is the big question here. And the pressure on the leadership, to your point, is whether or not to deal with this when they get back right after the election, before potentially a Republican takeover in January, which would make getting more aid difficult, and whether these bases will get more influential within those respective caucuses. There is a push to do this in the lame duck session of Congress, but they'll need the support to do that. But as we can see, some support waning.
It is worth adding, though, that for everything we're saying, there are some foreign policy experts at this time that are questioning how is this going to end and whether or what are the off ramps here, and if any sort of negotiation that doesn't involve the U.S. and it's just Ukraine and Russia will be taken as legitimate. But again, that doesn't undermine the timing question that you just said.
And the consistent White House position that Zelensky makes the decision
That's right.
about talking to Russia, not any outside power, that President Zelensky would make that decision.